Hello. In previous video, we already learned about the introduction of the Kubernetes, including like what is the Kubernetes, how is the cluster architecture, how to install and set up Kubernetes in our local laptop on Windows, and we already like try to play around with the pod by interacting with the kubectl to our Kubernetes cluster, and we already done that. So basically, that's the should be like very good introduction to the Kubernetes. And now we will talk about the different topic of the Kubernetes. In this case is the deployment. So it will be like different between pod and deployment. But first, if you found that this video and this channel is useful, don't forget to share this video and also subscribe to this channel. So let's get started with the deployment. So previously, we already talked about the pod and now about the deployment. What is the deployment? The easy way to put the deployment is actually a wrapper or a definition how we want to deploy the pod itself. So by default, when we run the pod in the previous video, actually it will only launch one pod. Okay, so it is only one. But then it is possible actually to define like how many pod that we want to deploy for our case. So let's say at the beginning of the deployment, we want to have not only one Nginx container, but instead we have two, three, or more than that. So it is possible actually. And how we do that, actually, that will be able to be done using the deployment. So let's start to try the deployment in the Kubernetes. First, let's log into the WSL. So let's check again. kubectl get pods. So see, there is a one pod that is running. This is the curl. So okay, I will leave it like that. So previously we are using the Nginx image to be run as a pod, but now we will not use that. Instead, we will create a deployment instead of the pod. So if you check here, kubectl get deployment, it will show nothing because we are not having any deployment at the time. And now we can do that. First, actually, we can do the deployment creation by two means, by two way. First one is by using the command for the kubectl. Also, if we have already the YAML, then we also can apply the YAML file or the YAML definition. So now we will try with the console first. Okay, don't forget to create. Okay, now Kubernetes tutorial in this case. Okay, no problem for this one. Now let's try kubectl create deployment. Previously we are created pod deployment. Let's put this as like Nginx app. Okay, and the image is Nginx. Okay, and the port is 80, something like this. Let's see. Now it mentioned that the deployment.app slash Nginx app is created. So let's check that. kubectl get deployment. See, now it is like should be like still in the pooling process. You can like describe the pod, the deployment itself, deployment Nginx app to see the state. Okay, let's check the pods. kubectl get pods. See, only one. So let's check. Okay, it's already running. So when we check the deployment again, get deployment, we already have one deployment ready. So what is the difference actually? So now let's say, okay, we check again, get pods. See, there is one Nginx pods here. So let's say for some reason actually we are like mistakenly delete the pod for the Nginx. kubectl delete pod and then the Nginx. Oh no, not this one. I need to put the name all together. See, pod is deleted. What we can expect is actually in the previous way, in the previous studios, since we are creating the Nginx pod directly only as a pod, not as a deployment, actually the pod is gone. It is terminated completely and it's lost. But the thing is, when we see here, kubectl get pods, even the previous Nginx pod is deleted here, it is launch a new Nginx pod. See, this is the ID is different. The name is different. This one same and this one is different. So this is the idea of the deployment itself. So by the default, when we create the deployment, it will set the replication set, the one that shown here, to be a 1. That's the default value. But actually, we can set that to be more than 1. So in this case, we only have 1, right? So let's try to create that more than 1. Maybe like first we can check kubectl get deployment Nginx app and output that as a YAML. Okay, and let's deployment.yaml and dump that to the file. So let's check deployment YAML. See, so this is actually the definition of the deployment for the Nginx that we created using the console. See, so it has like the deployment kind. Previously we are using the kind as a pod, and then there is an annotation. We will talk about the annotation and the label later in another video. And there is also the namespace. Namespace is the default, and see, there is something called replicas. So by default it will be only 1, but then we also can change that to be any other value. Let's say 2 or 3, 4, or yeah, something like that. Okay, so that's the thing. So we can try that. Let's try whether we can like change that directly and apply again. See, this one, 2, kubectl apply, and then -f deployment. See, now deployments.app Nginx app is configured. So let's check again. kubectl get deployment first. Still, the name is same for the deployment, but if you notice this, the number of pod now is different. Previously it is only 1, see this one, but now it is 2 per 2. So it is like already with a 2. Okay, so if we check again, so we have now a 2 pod for the Nginx app. See, that's a great thing about this one. Okay, isn't that good? Okay, now let's say kubectl get now delete pod again. Delete pod. Let's delete 1. Okay, once deleted, get pods again. See, another one is launched 3 seconds ago. So we don't need to care about like how many pod that we have. Let's say when we mistakenly like delete the pod, because once we define that on the deployment with the replica set, then it will be handled by the Kubernetes itself. It will always make sure that we have number of pod as same as the number of the replica set that we already defined. So in this case, now we are good with the deployment. Okay, so this is the end of the video of the topic of the deployment of the Kubernetes. If you have any question, just put that in the comment. If you found that this video is useful for you or for your friend, don't forget to share and also subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video when we talk about a service. See you.